Hello my crafty friends and welcome back. Today I decided to give some love on my alcohol inks. I haven't used them for quite some time. And for today I'm going to play with them on top of vellum. It works really beautifully. I have some vellum here. It is from Dress My Craft and it is quite heavy. But any vellum that you have at home would do the trick. And when I play with my alcohol inks, since I have everything out, I like to create lots of backgrounds. For that I'm going to use isopropyl alcohol. I'm also going to use a tool so that I can blow the ink around. I do use this one, which is for markers actually. There is a specific tool for this job, which I misplaced it and I have no idea where it is, so I'm going to use whatever I have. I'm also going to play with lifting, which gives a very interesting look on your backgrounds. And let's start with the first two colors. When you work with alcohol inks over vellum, you will find that the ink moves around freely and you don't really need to use isopropyl alcohol to move it around. You will see what I mean in the first example. I'm just applying a few droplets and I blow it away with my tool. You can use a straw, you can even use a heat gun to do that. Just make sure that you don't keep the heat gun very close to the vellum. A blow dryer is also a great alternative to move the ink around. Of course, this is semi-transparent. When you place it over white, you will see the colors better. By the way, I'm working directly on top of my glass mat, which makes it really easy to clean up the mess. And every time I'm using a color combination, you can see which colors I'm using on your screen. Now for this example, I'm going to use isopropyl alcohol so that I can move around the ink more freely. And you see it dilutes the ink somehow, makes it more runny. And the colors blend better together. It really depends on the look that you are going for. You can use it or not. When you play with alcohol inks, there is only one thing that you need to keep in mind. You cannot control what will happen. Sometimes you will like it, sometimes you won't. But you can always go back on top of it and add more color, play with the isopropyl alcohol to move it around until you are happy with your background. So we are going for abstract backgrounds that are nicely vibrant, but at the same time, since we are working on vellum, it is going to give a very soft look and feel on the background. A big plus of working on vellum is that since you are working on a semi-transparent surface, you can use it for windows where you can kind of see through on the inside of a card. Also, if you notice, just to avoid too much mess, I'm always working with a couple of colors. I don't add too many and I'm not trying to cover up completely the whole area. Sometimes with this technique less is more, and over the years of playing with inks I have found that the less colors I add, the better the result. Have lots of vellum pieces just next to you. Since you are creating all that mess, it's good to go and create lots of backgrounds to have on hand, and you will end up with lovely backgrounds with vibrant colors that are perfect for creating quick and easy cards. All you need to do is to just add a big die cut sentiment or a small focal point like I'm going to do today, and you are good to go. Okay, I can go on and on creating backgrounds like this forever, but I promise this is the last one. For this example, I went ahead and used 3 different colors just because I couldn't move the yellow one a lot and I didn't like the look of it. So I thought let's add a third one into the mix and see what happens. And the truth is that if you use a color combination that is pleasing to the eye, there is nothing not to like. It's after all an abstract background. And here are all my backgrounds together after a session of playing with my alcohol inks. This is a great opportunity to use any background stamps that you have. I'm just going with a text background stamp here. And I'm using my lifting. I'm not going to cover up completely the whole stamp. I'm just going for a visual texture here. So I'm going to stamp the text on top. Leave it for a few seconds to react with the ink and then grab a clean towel. It looks dirty, but trust me, it's clean. It's the one that I use and throw in the washing machine all the time. And of course you can definitely go with a paper towel. Then just blot any extra ink, and once a few seconds have passed, you can then rub it off. This is going to lift the alcohol ink from the stamped areas, and I'm going to place it on top of a white card so you can see the effect better. It just adds an extra element of visual texture, makes the background more interesting. And now, since we do have to stick this vellum on top of our card base, I find that the easier way is to just cover up completely the back with double-sided tape. This way you cover up completely the whole back with adhesive and it doesn't show at all, unless of course you don't need adhesive at the back if you are going to use the vellum on a window. I didn't touch the adhesive with my scissors, I cut on top of the vellum. This way I keep everything clean. I'm going to remove any excess tape that shows, and then I'm going to use one of my rectangle dies and run it through my die cutting machine. At this stage you can move the rectangle all around to pick up the area that you like the best, and then you end up with a panel that is a sticker at the same time. So let's repeat the same process for the rest of the backgrounds, but every time I'm going to use a different background stamp, just so that I can give some love to all those stamps that I have been hoarding for all those years. These are really old ones. The first one that I'm using here is one full of dots. Always wait for a few seconds for the lifting to react with the alcohol ink on your background, and then just wipe off the excess ink. I will quickly show you all the background stamps that I use, and then I'm going to zoom in for you so you can see the effect that I got on each of the backgrounds better. By the way, you will not find links to the specific background stamps that I'm using for every one of those vellum pieces, just because these are old ones in my stash forever and they are patterns that I like and keep, since I know that they are quite versatile and can be used again and again. Probably most of these background stamps are from my favorite things, since they have a huge collection of these type of rubber stamps. And for this last one, I chose to go with a background stamp that has quite of a big design. It's not as delicate as the previous ones, just to see how it's going to show. And you will see that the effect is going to be amazing. All those letters will be transferred on the background. So here is a close-up look on all the backgrounds. The first one is the sticker one, but I will repeat the same process for the rest. Here's the one with the dots, the one with the plaid design. In this one I have stripes top to bottom, and here is the one with the alphabet at the background. And since I have all these backgrounds, let's turn them quickly into cards. Remember, this is a sticker, so I'm just peeling it off and I'm going to stick it on top of a card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm doing my best here to stick it as straight as possible. Keep in mind this is not a forgiving process, and on some of them I did place them a little bit crooked. No worries, this is a handmade card. These things don't bother me at all. I love the result, they look nice and vibrant, just stick a sentiment and you are good to go. However, I'm going to show you what I did for each and every one of them. So for the first one I just used the bunny, a simple focal point with a sun and a sentiment. And this is the You Make My Day Sunshiny stamp set. Then here's another one with a critter as focal point. An adorable turtle that I used a Google eye on top just to make it more fun. The turtle is from a stamp set full of critters and lots of sentiments that's called My Smile is Bigger Because of You. And for coloring all my focal points, just like the turtle in this card, you will find that I follow the colors of the background, so I'm not introducing new colors. And by the way, this is the Happy Birthday die set, as well as a few gems to add some sparkle. And let's move on to a couple more examples. Birthday cards for a boy and a girl. This time I used just a few small characters along with a sentiment, and every time I colored the characters using the background colors. I didn't introduce any new color again. Just a trick not to steal the thunder of the background. And the boy and the girl come from the Shout It From the Rooftops stamp set. And again I did add some sparkle just by adding a few gems here and there. And you see it's really easy to put together cards once you have those beautiful backgrounds. And here is another one where I used a little bear holding flower. Again, for the flower I went with the colors for the background as I didn't want the focal point to stand out too much. The bear comes from the Sunshine Friends stamp set, and again I added a few gems just to add some sparkle. So these were all the cards that I made for today while playing with my alcohol inks. I hope that you had fun, that you got inspired to create some really vibrant backgrounds with your alcohol inks. Links to everything I used can be found down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.